YouTube, what's going on? My boy, Hugo Solera, the king of countertops in Philadelphia. But just some background, watch the whole video. We're giving away a complete free kitchen renovation. The details will be in my Instagram. It'll be launched in the new year, but very, very exciting. But yeah, Hugo absolutely killing it in the city. Hugo knows every developer. We started from nothing in 2017, didn't know anyone. I first moved to the city not knowing anyone in the city, and it's pretty amazing to see how your career has exponentially blew up.
And I think one of the biggest things about Philadelphia is it's growing so rapidly. I love Philadelphia. I'm from New York originally. I grew up in Queens and moved to Philly. I fell in love with Philadelphia. I consider myself a native of Philadelphia. So I want to say I'm grateful to the city of brotherly love. I'm grateful for relationships like Francis and all the developers. We were just talking about style last night, right? Probably one of the most motivating people to me. I get up in the morning, jump on Instagram, I check for Francis, I check for Stom. People are gonna keep me motivated, man. And TCG, the list goes on. Great, just the tremendous amount of people in Philadelphia that give me the opportunity to work for. I'm very grateful, very humble, and like I said, I'm not gonna stop. 2021, if 2020 was a bad year, 2021, I'm gonna murder it. So you might as well look for me to murder 2021. So.
We fucked it up in 2020 like Drake, so 2021, I don't even know what's
so
gonna happen.
So we were going through difficult points because of COVID, and thank God they found a vaccine and things. They're not back to normal, but they're gonna start getting back to normal. I don't know how to deal with life without adversity. So my whole life has been the one big problem after problem, but you know what? I never laid down, I never stayed there, got up and kept going, and that's what my whole life is gonna be based upon. So that's what we're doing. So Francis came up with a good idea. Look it up on Francis' YouTube and Instagram. Those are good. I think people got scared, and I'm not gonna lie, for the first week I was skeptical. Stayed home Sunday, I got a call Monday. I was at my shop at Monday afternoon, there by myself, cutting, fabricating. I called my guys, you wanna come to work? This is the risk, this is what we're doing. And we were at work. I was at a building Tuesday. Right? So, it's all, life is a risk.
Right.
You can leave here, get killed. I'd rather take a risk in working, right?
That's right.
My shop's open 24 hours. You call me, I'm gonna answer the phone.
Francis Mangubat, thanks for watching. This is
Hugo
Solera, baby. So Hugo and I met in 2017, and at 2017, you weren't in the countertop business yet. You were just looking to get started.
Yep. We were just starting to kick off, and thank God I reached out to Francis. And since then, I think the most important part about business is relationship. And there's nothing I wouldn't do for Francis, and it's vice versa.
Vice versa, baby.
I get the same thing. And it was funny, we just had a conversation last night. It was at 10:30, and we stood on the phone for 46 minutes, right? And the conversation was basically about relationships, and I think we both started with, well, at least I started through you with V2 Properties. Right? Our conversation was basically that we both started, at least I started.
We both started from nothing. We didn't know anyone in town, and it's, what I gotta say is now, Hugo works with pretty much every, major and large developer in the city, and I'd say your trajectory has been impressive over the last 3 years. It's been great. No one's been able to do it.
And I think over the years, I always call Francis, this guy. And Francis, and we bounce off each other. I think one of the biggest things in this industry is relationships. And I keep going back to that because no matter what happens, it's based upon relationships. One of the biggest things I've learned, I've seen shops that have CNCs, they have this, they have that, but they don't have no heart. They're not willing to do. I don't have a time. I get up from the moment my eyes open till the time they close, and sometimes they don't close till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. If I was to tell you my life, you will not believe it, and we'll probably get into that later on in another situation. But I've come, it's like a Rocky story, right? You come from nothing, and you build yourself up, and you do whatever you have to do. One of the things that we were talking about last night is the fact that people look at Francis, they look at his Instagram, and like, oh, this kid's rich. He's not. He's worked himself to where he's at, right? Everything he has, and there's either followers or there's people that are unique and are willing to do whatever needs to do to get where they have to be.
Let me ask you this, Hugo. So you first started, we're not doing any countertops in Philadelphia yet. You're not doing anything. how did you go from, doing 0 countertops to, you told me, just the other day you did 17 units in one day,
Yep.
and now you have everyone calling you in the city. How did you do it?
I think one of the most important things is hard work. One of my biggest tools is this phone, my Instagram.
Like these phones?
Yeah,
these phones,
like
bro?
those. So one of the biggest things I have, and I keep saying, is just Instagram. Instagram, if you're not on Instagram, if you're not using social media, shame on you. Keep not using it. I'm gonna keep using it. And just contacts. I think Francis introduced me to half of Philadelphia, and I think one of the greatest things of a relationship is that we always able. People ask me all the time about Francis. Yo, how do you know Francis? Right? And I tell them, Francis has been one of the key people in my business that's helped me develop my business.
We both started together, baby.
Having conversations in a restaurant about my plans and seeking his guidance and asking questions, because Francis, everybody knows Francis, right? And you do know Francis in real estate, Advanced Philly, right? And seeing you go from where you're at to where you're at today, and it's just people only see the good part, but they don't see the late nights, or they don't see Francis going door to door. At this point, I'm gonna do whatever. I'll work 24 hours a day. I'll work Sunday to Sunday. I'll call Rev at 2 o'clock in the morning. Rev will answer the phone. I have another distributor, Designer Stone, do the same thing. It's just a combination of your relationships. I owe a lot to this man, and we're here today to pick out material for his home.
You don't owe me anything, bro.
No, I do, man.
We go way back.
Yeah, so I think one of the greatest assets of my, or I should say, one of the biggest lessons in my life has been relationships, man. If you have relationships in Philadelphia, I know all of Philadelphia. I know builders that are thinking about building before a real estate agent. I'll call. Or it's funny, right? People will say, I bought this lot. Do you know who owns this lot? Do you know? And I know who this person is. I know. And I don't disclose anything, because one of my rules is never tell. I will never tell. But I think on certain circles, I'll always consult with Francis. Francis, you know this guy? And it's just because everybody knows him. I know everybody. And together we know all of Philadelphia. So
cheers, bro.